Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are so excited that you're here tonight joining us. I am Nikki McCutchen. I will be one of your co-hosts this evening with Vicki Mawad, and we have a special treat for you. But before we get to dive into this patch technology and what we're going to share with you tonight, I just want to go over our medical disclaimer. And I also just want to say to you, whoever invited you to the call tonight, please know that they must really care about you to want you to know about this technology. We are absolutely watching it change lives just constantly. We see the benefits in our own life, and it's such a blessing to get to see the benefits in thousands and hundreds of thousands of other people's lives. And so we are truly excited to get to share this with you tonight. So we're going to start with our medical disclaimer. All Lifeway products are not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any dis-ease. If you are pregnant or nursing or have any medical conditions, we always recommend that you check with your preferred healthcare practitioner first, along with the recommendations of, that's the same for diet and exercise. They always recommend that you check with your healthcare practitioner first as well. And what we're sharing here tonight with you is just for educational and informational purposes only. So with that, we are actually going to talk about our Silent Night patch tonight. And so we're going to do a deep dive into that. And usually all of these calls just last for 30 minutes. We will take time at the end to answer any questions that you might have. We will stop the recording and then we'll go into those questions of what you guys might want to discuss further. But we are just super excited. Vicki and I were talking before we got started, and she was just saying how every time she does a deep dive into these patches that we're like, oh my goodness, this one is so amazing. And we say that about every one of them. So with that, we're going to talk about Silent Night tonight. And this, I think, we will have gone over all of our patch technology. And so we will actually have an educational course that will be launching in our community where we have all of the videos on our patch technology. So you can find them there. You can go through all of those. And of course, you can always still find them on my YouTube channel. It's just Nikki McCutchen. So Silent Night is a patch that helps your body produce its own melatonin through an increase in serotonin during low light environments. It works without the use of drugs or chemicals. It is clinically proven to improve the quality and length of sleep without morning grogginess. So it supports restful sleep. It cultivates restorative sleep. It improves deeper rest. It allows for a more refreshed day. It's non-habit forming because there's no drugs, and it's not a depressant. So that is true for all of our patch technology. They are all completely non-transdermal. There is nothing that transfers from the patch into your body. That is also true with the Silent Night as well. So one of the things that I always like to talk to people about with the Silent Night patch is kind of tell you a little bit about my story and just have you understand it a little bit more. So the Silent Night patch activates the serotonin in your gut, which then turns on the melatonin. So the mechanism is a little bit different than, say, like the Alavita, which directly turns on melatonin. So this goes from the serotonin in your gut turning on the melatonin so that you can sleep better. Now, for someone like me, I know in my DNA, I have dysregulated serotonin. So what that means is that this patch will not work for me in the normal way that it will work for most people, which is help them sleep. So that is not going to be something that if you have dysregulated serotonin that you are going to experience with this patch technology. The good thing is that I actually continue to wear the patch because I have dysregulated serotonin. I want that extra support for the serotonin in my gut. And so I actually wear the Silent Night patch during the day on my ST36 spot, which is just like 4 finger widths below the right knee. There's kind of a little divot you'll feel towards the outside of your tibia, the outside of your leg. And that's where I wear mine actually during the day. And so that's just something I encourage people so that they know about, because if for some reason you have someone or you're using the Silent Night patch and it's not helping with your sleep, I always encourage people to do a DNA test. So you can get one of those through the DNA company. That's the company that I like to use. They have a great test. You can just order it online. They give more information about every single marker, so that you, as just a regular person, can actually understand your DNA. And so I love that about the company. If you are here in Tulsa, I do have a functional practitioner that I can refer you to, who is able to go over that test with you as well, if you want someone, live that you can go and meet with and all of that as well. But my hypothesis is that if you have dysregulated serotonin, then that's why this patch won't work for you. And so you want to go to a functional medicine practitioner, that can help you figure out how to support your serotonin, so that you will get the best benefit, and what are the best ways to support that serotonin level, because serotonin does so much more than just turn on melatonin. It does all kinds of fantastic things for our body. So you want that to be supported in every way. And so you'd want to call and ask a practitioner, if they work with people that have serotonin dysregulation, if they are able to test for serotonin dysregulation, and then what methods do they use to support serotonin dysregulation. So, and anyway, so I still use the patch, like I said, and it's why I still love the patch, because I know it's helping in an area that I do have dysregulation. So hopefully that is helpful. The other thing is that most of the time with the people that I work with, if this patch, and Vicki may have some other information on this, but if this patch is going to work for you, what I see with people that I work with, it works within the first day, the first week, the first month. So it works usually very, very quickly if you don't have dysregulated serotonin. Now, I have listened to doctors who use this technology with their patients, and they do tell them to give it a full 90 days. So that, I just want to throw that out there too. I haven't necessarily seen that with the people that I work with. It's usually very, very quick, for them to know, whether it's going to work or not. So Vicki, you have anything you want to add with that? And then you just take off wherever you would like to.
Yeah, so that is so true about, wearing the technology and if it's not being helpful for you. So a lot of people struggle with sleep disorders. They take medications. I know I was one years ago, only because I trusted my doctors. And, it's all a learning process, and I've come a long way, thankfully. So back when I was 20 something, before I had children, I don't recall ever having any sleep issues, but I guess I kind of saw the pattern happening after I had my kids. And I struggled for many years with sleep issues. I didn't get a full night's sleep. I was a light sleeper. I had gut issues. I mean, I had so many different issues. I couldn't think clear during the day. I had brain fog. I was just groggy, irritable. I couldn't even explain how I felt. I just wanted somebody to come and make me feel normal again. But for me, sleep has become a non-negotiable. So I protect my sleep like I need it, because I do. So much happens for our bodies and our brain while we sleep. And in all of this, I learned that I just had so many different issues in my body. Getting my DNA tested was very helpful, because it gave me a lot of information that I did not know, that my body didn't process certain things properly. So working with a functional health doctor, a nutritionist would be helpful. Just trying to get my gut back in balance was the first way to start with this. And I'm telling you, this patch saved my marriage, because my husband loved to snore. My dogs love to snore. I don't snore though, because I'm sleeping, right? But I'm telling you, I just was such a light sleeper, and any kind of sound or anything would just wake me up. A light, anything would wake me up, and it would throw my whole sleep pattern off. So this patch has truly, truly helped me a lot. It helps me to stay asleep. I was a evening person in the night hours, just going to the bathroom all the time, because I drank water all day long, and I had so many issues with my bladder. So I thought, I got to drink, I got to hydrate, and I just never got really, really good quality sleep. But I'm telling you, this patch has truly changed everything for me.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And I can attest to the snoring as well. My husband will not tell you very many things about the patches, but he will tell you that he definitely notices that it helps him sleep. And it definitely helps to not disrupt my sleep because he could definitely peel the paint off the walls. So before the technology, yes, it was, I mean, you could hear him with the door shut in 2 rooms down. My kids would be like, "Is that dad?" I'm like, I know. I get to sleep with that every night. So this patch technology was truly a blessing because I'm going to talk about that here a little bit, just the benefits of sleeping well and not snoring and the problems that that causes. But that's huge. The other thing that I can tell you is even though I have the dysregulated serotonin, that my sleep has definitely been better and improved through the patch technology. Definitely the X39 pretty much did all of that for me. But I also would wear an Aura ring. If you guys don't know, it's a ring that you wear around your finger. It can do all kinds of metrics for your health, exercise, heart rate variability, like lots of great information. I normally just would wear it when I sleep so that I could see what my REM and my deep sleep was. And so if you were to look at my Aura ring data, you would go, oh my goodness, like you are a fantastic sleeper because my sleep says optimal every single night. But like Vicky said, I have learned how to protect my sleep and basically biohack my sleep so that I can optimize that. So just so you know, if you can get, an hour and a half to 2 hours of REM and an hour and a half to 2 hours of deep sleep, that's what allows for that deep, restful sleep. And I do believe that Silent Night will play a great role along with the Alavita in helping and the X39 to help people get that kind of sleep and just be able to optimize, even if you have to do like me, to where you have to make some adjustments and really protect that sleep. And I am going to talk about here in a little bit why would we want to protect our sleep as well. So what else would you like to add, Miss Vicky?
Another reason why the technology you may not experience a difference while you're using this is because you have to play around with the placement. So I know for me, I always tell everybody to start with the right foot, which is liver three. I've tried all of these positions and they all work very well. I am the right foot top of the right foot sleeper. It really, really works well for me. But lately I've been using this one on stomach 36, like where you place yours, only because I can't get to my foot properly. So I'm using the leg, whatever I got to do to get that patch on me so I can get some sleep. So another thing to remember also is, like you said, people experience it probably usually within the first week. Some experience it sooner, but you want to try each patch, each position, should I say, for at least 5 days straight. So if you're not experiencing it, sometimes it takes, 2, 3 nights in order for your body to regulate before it actually starts working. But trust me, it will change your sleep habit forever.
Absolutely. Yeah. And 50% of the people are lower body choices are best for them, and 50% are upper body, which is why you need to go through each one of those spots that Vicky's talking about to find out what's going to work best for you.
Yes, yes, very much so. And yeah, so another thing I just wanted to talk about is why it's sleep. When you're sleeping, your body is detoxifying your brain. There's just so many different things that happen while we're sleeping. Your hormone centers get, all the hormones that you need to function the next day so your body can operate optimally. Nikki loves to say optimal health, and I love that. I love that. So yeah, and I would get like brain fog. I couldn't remember a lot of things. I could feel like I was there, but I wasn't present, if that made any sense. Um, yeah, and your brain needs sleep like your body needs air. So it's very, very important. And a lot of times, younger adults don't realize that sleep is very critical for your body. And as they become, younger adults going into 30s or 40s, that way they come to realize, hey, my sleep's not so good, you
Mm,
know?
absolutely. Yeah. And so sleep issues are the number one cause of chronic issues today because over 60% of the population around the world are actually sleep deprived. This directly is correlated with obesity. And that's a super interesting fact because with that, 60% of the population is also overweight. And so if you are trying to lose weight, it is so important that you optimize your sleep. So really taking heed to this is so important. So sleep experts say that we need 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night. And I was actually just recently talking to a functional medicine practitioner, and they were telling me for women, they really do need 8 to 10 hours of sleep based on even new studies that have come out. And so that was kind of shocking to me, but also it definitely correlated with the way that I am protecting my sleep and optimizing my sleep is I am falling in that 8 to 10 hour, range of sleep, which is almost with as busy as our society is today, it's almost like I shouldn't tell anybody, that I sleep that much. But it's one of those things, like Vicki said, we have got to protect our sleep because, like she said, it is like as important as breathing air. So the majority of the population is actually getting less than 6 hours of sleep. So that's 3 to 5 hours less than what's required for quality health. That's huge when you take that on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, what that compounds to in your health and the type of, vitality that we need that actually comes and allows us to have what we have optimally because of our sleep. So a few things I want to do, and then I'm going to let Vicki start adding. So get your chat button out. I want you to type in the chat. Do you feel rested during the day? So type in rested or tired. Type in one of those. Let us know how you're feeling. And then also, I want you to type in, do you need caffeine and sugar to get you going in the morning or keep you from crashing during the day? So for that one, you can type in caffeine or sugar or I feel great. And just kind of let us know because if this is one of you in either one of these categories, if you don't feel rested, if you're having to use caffeine or if you're having to use sugar, then this technology could truly be the answer to your prayers. So type those in the chat, and I'm going to look at those. And Vicki, I will let you continue to add.
Yes, and your sleep is so important, and a lot of times I was just speaking to one of my son's girlfriend earlier today, and she has sleep issues, and I was like, for me to start talking to her about silent night, right? So I said, well, maybe you want to join the Zoom tonight because we're talking about our silent night and how important sleep is. So yeah, there is a circadian rhythm. So I don't know if everybody is aware of this chart. So everybody, it's 24 hours in a day, and there's certain times every hour on the hour, there's a different part of your body that is operating optimally. So a lot of times when you are supposed to be sleeping, your body should be healing and repairing itself. If you're awake, that is not happening. So we have to try to work on getting our circadian rhythm back where it should be. And I know some people work like night shifts, and that's kind of difficult, especially, but your body will adjust and get used to it. So for me, that was the first thing was my circadian rhythm. Let's see. And I just want to know, what does your sleep schedule look like? Like, do you have a certain routine that you do in the evening? Because I know I do. I just say I need a little bit of time before y'all decide to come up and go to sleep because I need to get myself together. Set yourself up for success. So, be protective of your sleep, of course. I love to use and combine the Alavita along with the Silent Night. So that works well for me. Plus, it doesn't just help with your sleep, it's going to help renew your skin and fix your hormones, all that good stuff. I also use a sound machine. So I use that only because I've always been a light sleeper. And if, my husband comes in and he's taking a shower and he makes a sound, I won't wake up. But I found that the pink noise for me with the sound machine works well. That way I don't feel like I have to get up and keep going to the bathroom. If I had these crashing waves and the water sound all night long, I won't have to go potty. But the pink noise works well for me. And I also reduce screen time in the evening. Blue light glasses also, or lenses work. Diffuser with essential oils as well. So I like to kind of look for all different kinds of combinations that will be helpful. And yeah, and just setting realistic expectations. So if someone has struggled all their life with sleep disorders, they've been on Ambien and all these other sleep medications, and they wake up groggy and they use this patch for 3 days, and then they say, it's not working. That's not realistic. So your body, when you're doing something natural for your body, it takes time. You got to be patient with the process. But if you're using this technology, know that it always works. Yeah. So, and another thing, I always like to have a cool dark room for
Yes,
sleep. Gotta have a cool
absolutely.
dark room. I don't care if it's in the wintertime, I'll turn a fan on. Gotta have that
Yes.
cool air circulating.
Absolutely. And I actually do all those same things that Vicky does. I use exactly all the same things. So, and that's what we're talking about, truly protecting your sleep and getting in that routine that's going to create that environment that's going to help you sleep best is so key. Also, I just wanted to comment, she made comments about, people's being on a night shift as well as circadian rhythm. If you do the DNA test that they have through the DNA company, they actually are able to tell you if you should potentially not consider being a night shift worker because it's not in your DNA. So it's going to damage your health over time. How key of information would that be for every person that wants to do night shift work, just in them being able to, again, protect their health, optimize their health, protect their sleep? That would be a key piece of information to know. The nice thing about a DNA test is you only have to do it once. Like, your DNA is never going to change. So that is fantastic too. It's not a repeated test, and you want to get the best one with the most information. The DNA company also does show your results for your circadian rhythm. So I've got a double whammy. I've got dysregulated serotonin, and I have issues with my circadian rhythm. So again, which is good information because that tells me that this list of things that Vicky's talking about doing, I need to do all of those so that I am basically biohacking my sleep and optimizing my sleep, even though I'm usually awake for an hour and a half to 2 hours in the middle of the night every night. So it's why it's so important to do all of those things.
Yeah, I also wanted to add, like, sometimes just the simplest tweaks can change everything. So if you have a hard time falling asleep at night, maybe starting to settle in an hour or so before you usually do. So, anything that you can do to help make it easier for your body to get into that calm, restful sleep. So poor sleep contributes to brain degeneration also. And there's people are at risk for dementia because they are sleep, deprived. And it slows down brain aging when you get the right amount of sleep for your body. Another thing I saw was when you don't get the right amount of sleep, say you have a bad night's sleep, it's kind of like you wake up and you kind of had like a pre-diabetic um effect on your body. That's exactly the effects that it has when you have a bad night's sleep. It's like pre-diabetic. You're waking up, you got everything is out of whack. So that's always helpful to know. And sleep problems become more common as we age and we get older, like I was saying. It's always good to teach, like my oldest, he's got the sleep pattern like his mom. He goes to bed early, he wakes up early. And then the twins are my husband. They go to bed late, they wake up late. So yeah, and I've always taught them, you got to sleep, man. You got to go to sleep. I don't care what you say, just go to bed. Another thing is it's not just about waking up refreshed, it's about long-term brain health. So just to be able to function, think properly, to make educated decisions throughout the day, when you had that brain fog and you're walking around and you don't feel like you're really alive, it's kind of hard to make decisions, for you and your family. Another thing I did, a mistake, was thinking magnesium. I need magnesium. And I would take it in the evening, and because I was like, well, that's when I was supposed to take it. There's certain kind you take during the day, certain kind you take in the evening. So I would take the one in the evening. And I would wake up and I would feel like it was something weird going on in my brain. So I don't know if I was not taking the proper dosage, but again, that is why your functional health doctor is always best to go to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So just like Vicki said, we're constantly bombarded every single day with toxins. So if we're not getting the proper amount of rest, then our body and our brain can't actually detoxify. It cannot digest properly. So these are all things that are affected by our sleep. So you for sure want to be in bed by 10 and asleep by 11 for your body to go through all of those different areas of detoxification while you're sleeping that Vicki talked about, because there's different parts of the body that it moves to each time. So the only reason that would potentially not be the case usually, and again, a functional medicine doctor can help you figure this out, is if you are one of those people that is able to do a night shift at night, and that is built into your DNA. So your body will have other times that it's able to detoxify by you protecting that and modifying that as needed because of your work schedule. So proper sleep is even more critical if you're not eating proper nutrition and you're not getting enough exercise. So we, of course, are always going to tell you to get proper nutrition, eat well, eat clean, as well as movement is medicine. And so we want you to exercise as well. So, and food is that also food can be used as medicine as well. And so it's so important for those two things to be in place. But if they're not, proper sleep is going to be even more important because, again, obesity and depression are directly related to sleep deprivation. So, again, more reasons to really protect your sleep. Lack of sleep puts you in a state of fight or flight. So it increases stress levels and can cause an inability to make good decisions, like Vicki was talking about. So it helps to get your nervous system back into balance when you protect that sleep and you get that good sleep. And like we talked about with snoring, if you're snoring, you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain. And so most of the time, so many people snore, so many people has a spouse that snore or they both snore. And so it's normal in our society. We think it's very normal to snore. It's just a part of what happens to people in life. This is a signal for us to know that there's something that we need to look at more deeply to help modify, to figure out what's going on so that we're able to not snore so that the oxygen can get to our brain. If your immune system is not resting, then your body is not repairing. So again, another reason for getting good sleep. This is a drug-free sleep aid. It's clinically proven to increase the length of sleep by 66%. That is huge. So it's also why I'm able to get that REM and deep sleep because I'm able to have that support in that way as well. So Dr. Caroline, one of our doctors, she always talks about the reason that she got started on this technology was she was looking for an answer for one of her patients who was on Ambien and just nothing was working, also because of the patient's compliance and what she was recommending, but she was having a really hard time helping him. And so that's when she found this technology, and her recommendation for him, because even with the Ambien, he'd been on Ambien for 20 years, even with that, he still was struggling to sleep well. So she combined the Silent Night, the Eon, and the glutathione, actually, all three of those at night for him to help. And literally the first night he started sleeping well. So that is a huge benefit. And just know, like Vicki talked about, sometimes you have to make some modifications. Like maybe it's not just the Silent Night patch is, you maybe think maybe it's working, but I'm not quite sure. So that combination of some of the other patches, especially like with the glutathione, to allow your body to detoxify, to be able to get to a place to where your body comes back into balance so that you can sleep well is also super important. So looking at some of those tweaks that you could potentially make, like my husband sleeps with the Alavita and the Silent Night. So there's some of that as well to try different, things with both of those. Even like Vicki and I can't remember when it was, and I don't know if it was on a call or not, but even for women for hormone support, sleeping with the the silent night behind the right ear, and actually then using the SP6 behind the left ear at night to help with hot flashes. Did I get that right, Vicki?
You got it right.
Okay. Awesome. So just some little tweaks just to know about that might be helpful, for you or people that you care about. What else you got for us, Miss Vicki?
And of course, I just say if your circadian rhythm's off, you got to try and fight it through the day. Exercise, movement as much as possible, hydrate, good quality foods. All of this is going to play a factor into how tired you're going to be in the evening. That way, you do get good restful sleep. It really does make a big difference. And back when this all started, of course, my kids were young. I would take a nap during the day, and then in the evening, it kind of threw everything off. So I'm guessing that's kind of where it kind of started for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the circadian rhythms as well. Another just little tip is that it may be very helpful for you to ground. If you're struggling with getting your circadian rhythms back in balance, if you get up first thing in the morning and go outside bare feet on the grass. So, somewhere that's not heavily treated grass either. So, and just bare feet on the grass, or you could wear like cotton socks if it's cold outside, and just ground early in the morning. Just take deep breaths, enjoy, the nature that's around you, and just try to do that. I've actually seen that help to regulate people's circadian rhythms. So just know that that's also, again, easy and free. You just got to go do it. So 10 minutes every single morning.
Yes, exactly. So I love this quote because, and I shared it just recently on my social media, but our biology is tuned and designed to utilize the sun. So the more sunlight you get, the more helpful it is for your body, for energy, all these different processes in the body. If you're producing that vitamin D when you go out there, it gets you more motivated. So, get outside, enjoy the weather. Why it's warm out. Of course, today was a nice cloudy day here, but just moving around, the light is still shining, even though the sun's not out, it's still light out. So, you just got to kind of do those things for yourself because you're going to set yourself up for success, a successful night's sleep.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's huge. And usually a successful night's sleep is set up by what you do in the morning as well and how you make that morning routine. So it's a lot of work to stay healthy, but it's a lot more work to be sick. And so just realize that those of us that enjoy good health, that we don't take it for granted. And if you do struggle with your health, you understand exactly what I'm talking about, because sometimes every day can be a struggle because you don't feel good. So, and it's actually less expensive to stay healthy, and it's definitely more enjoyable. So poor sleep is linked to biologic aging, and it has a direct effect on your memory, like Vicki already talked about. So the length of sleep has a direct effect on your body's ability to store long-term memory, managing inflammation, metabolism, and hormones as well. So like Vicki already talked about, some brain things that can happen later on in life, if you're not protecting your sleep. So not being able to manage inflammation has a direct effect on your body's ability to manage disease. So again, this is another great reminder of how our patch technology works together to benefit the body in the same way, but from a different direction. So you're getting multiple areas of support. So the silent night patch is helping to bring that inflammation down, as well as obviously when we do the Eon patch, it's helping from a completely different angle. And so it's great synergistic effect that our patch technology has working together. So getting enough sleep each night is actually how we look at the big picture of overall health, is how are you sleeping? Sleep allows your body to have muscle repair. As your muscle repairs, it can also grow. And the stronger your muscles are, the more fat that you're able to burn, the better you feel, the more protected your bones and your body are. So it's important to be able to build that muscle and have that muscle repair. What else would you like to add, Miss Vicki?
Let me see. I'm looking at my notes and I think I covered everything.
Okay, I have just a few more.
Okay.
So melatonin plays a role in mitochondrial function. It's a master regulator of cell death through a process called autophagy, which is the body's ability to clear dying cells. And so this is, again, another one of those synergistic effects, because X39, also GHK copper peptide, when that's active and working properly in the body, it also turns on autophagy. So again, two more areas of clearing out those cells that need to be removed from the body. So there's also something termed zombie cells, where cells don't get broken down and eliminated. They actually stay in the body, which is a really bad thing, because that can cause oxidative stress, which obviously creates inflammation and problematic inflammation. And so being able to clear those and move those out, our body has to do that and detoxify every day, and using autophagy as well to do that is a key way to make sure that we don't have rogue cells that are duplicating, exuberantly and causing other problems in our body. So this was such a cool fact that I learned. So there's an ingredient in peppers that actually turns on autophagy as well. So just like fasting turns on autophagy. So this was so cool to me, because that means God has created something for us to allow our bodies to turn on that natural body process for its benefit. Again, let food be thy medicine. And so God has given us something when we're eating, clean, making sure it's not sprayed with glyphosate, and, organic, so that it supports just with our food, how food can be thy medicine, and allow that autophagy to turn on and get those cells to clear out. So melatonin plays a role in energy production, as well as it benefits our liver and it supports our lungs. Melatonin has a role as an antiviral. So it interferes with viral replication. So think about viruses like cold sores or shingles. You want your body to have proper levels of melatonin, so those viruses are not going to replicate in your system. So melatonin is really and truly a fantastic thing in our body. Now, a lot of people will take it exogenously, a supplement. And so if you need to do that, that's totally fine. But something to keep in mind is that when you do that, it turns off your body's ability to produce that on its own. So it's so much more important, again, to do the different things like Vicki and I talked about protecting your sleep, about finding regulation and balance, about adding all these extra things so that your melatonin will be able to have an ability to use from the inside, that your body just turns it on and uses it like it needs to, versus taking a supplement for that. So many underestimate the importance of our sleep. So there's actually a lot of doctors that will use 60 milligrams of melatonin as a method to treat cancer. So just know that melatonin is truly fantastic in our bodies. We need it to work properly. It's why when it's not working properly, that these doctors will use that as a method to help treat that, cancer, because it's not working properly. And so they're trying to benefit that. So just know that we want our melatonin to work right. We want to do all these other things that will help our body rest and do what it needs to do. So did you have any other thoughts, Vicki? Did you think of something else to add?
No, but I mean, I just think that we're so blessed to have this technology. It's non-habit forming. You get your restful night's sleep. You wake up well rested. I mean, what more can you ask for? That's a great way to start the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And that's one thing that's truly amazing because of the technology. I was literally tired. I could go to sleep at any point during the day. My family would tell you, I probably said for years, I am so tired. And so it was when I got this technology that completely changed everything for me, that it brought my energy back. I didn't have to take a nap every day. I didn't feel like I was walking around exhausted. When the kids were younger, I was coaching sports and I was homeschooling. And so literally it was like, you just have to take this tired and you got to sit it over here on the shelf because you got to get all this stuff done. And so if it would have only been that with the technology to bring back my energy, to allow me to go in that more deep, restful sleep, that would have been enough for me to never, ever stop using this technology. And so we want everyone to know about this technology. We want them to be blessed, give it the time that it needs so that they can see the blessing like Vicki and I have as well. And so thank you so much for being on. Of course, we're over time. We always do this when we do these deep dives because there's so many cool things about our technology. But we will stay on here. Yes, absolutely. We will stay on here if anybody has any questions. I'm going to stop recording. But with that, just know that we pray blessing over each and every one of you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. God bless.
God bless.